With your first look at today's news, I'm Kouchnerkavich. We begin with new developments in a monumental extortion ring. The two men extradited from Nigeria who've pleaded guilty for their role in the sextortion scheme that led to the death of Marquette teen Jordan DeMay are headed to prison. TV6's Elizabeth Peterson was in Marquette federal court today as both men received their sentences and is here now. Elizabeth.
Ben, today was an emotional day.
September is National Preparedness Month. The Marquette County Emergency Management Department is sharing how you can be prepared for anything. As winter gets closer, the Marquette County Emergency Manager says it's time to start planning for changing weather. Brian Hummel says to make sure you have your basic essentials ready at work, at home, and in your car.
Medications that you might take on a regular basis, making sure you have extra of those. Keeping some water on hand, light snacks, that sort of thing. As we go into the cold weather in the winter season, making sure that you have a blanket or an extra jacket or something along those lines to help keep you warm.
To learn more about making a preparation kit, go to uppermichigansource.com or the TV6 and Fox UP mobile news app. At this hour, they were checking the radar there. We're checking the radar here, too. Noel Navarro joins us. What are we looking at out there?
We got to track this rain, Ben, the swath of it moving across the eastern UP at this hour.
Thanks, Noel. The city of Iron Mountain recently got a state grant to identify lead-contaminated water lines. It's from Michigan's Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy. The department gave the city almost $600,000 for the project. The city hopes to identify almost 700 water lines with the project. Iron Mountain City Manager Jordan Stankina says the project should start early next spring.
There's quite a few of these other communities in the UP that have received them earlier than us, so I'm sure there's a lot of work that's done. I wouldn't anticipate this project would start until the spring, unless we had a winter like we had last time. You might be able to do some of them.
The grant does not require local matching funds. Marquette businesses are celebrating the UP tomorrow with specials that only come once a year. September 6th is 906 Day. Brass Tacks Tattoo Company is offering all sorts of UP-related tattoos. You can walk in between 10 in the morning and 8 in the evening to get a Lake Superior or pasty tattoo. Beth Milner Jewelry has a brand new pasty charm necklace. You can add a ketchup or gravy charm as well. The store is taking orders through Saturday.
Nina was kind of just like having fun in the studio one day, and she made a tiny little wax pasty, and she was like, this is so cute, what if we did it for 906 Day? And then after she made the charm, she was like, well, what if we also did condiments to go with it?
On your news tonight at 7 Eastern, TV6's Audrey Stetson shares how these businesses are giving back to their community. Coming up, when you can check out Marquette County Hockey Night at the Barry Event Center. President Joe Biden announced a multi-billion-dollar investment toward clean energy projects in rural areas today. The $7 billion in financing goes towards 16 different projects, including one in Westby, Wisconsin, where the president made his announcement today. The White House says the funding will help speed up the transition to clean energy in rural communities. It says it will also create jobs in those areas. The administration says this is the largest investment in rural electrification since FDR. The United Way of Marquette County's annual hockey night is coming to the Barry Event Center next week. The Detroit Red Wings alumni team faces off against Yoopers United, a team of Marquette hockey talent. The United Way says all the money it raises at the game stays in Marquette County.
It's just a great way to show the community everything that United Way does and the needs in the community, and raise some funds for the local community. Everything we raise from the event and our campaign stays locally to help support those in need.
The hockey night kicks off Friday, September 13th at 7 in the evening at the Barry Event Center. You can get tickets at uppermichigansource.com or the TV6 and Fox UP mobile news app. With your first look at today's news, I'm Ben Kouchnerkavich. We begin with a breaking news update. One person is dead after a fire in downtown Escanaba. Escanaba Public Safety says the fire at 1011 Ludington Street was reported just before 2 o'clock this morning. The building and a business next door were up in flames within minutes. The building where the fire was first reported had a gift store on the first floor and people lived on the second floor. While fighting the fire, Public Safety found only one of 2 tenants were accounted for.
At this time, the victim is not identified. No notifications have been made to the next of kin. The fire is under investigation.
Public Safety wants everyone to stay away from the scene because of debris and the building's conditions. Schwalbach Kitchens was also destroyed and neighboring buildings have damage. Coming up on your TV6 Early News at 6/5 Central, we talk to officials about challenges they faced battling the fire. And the TV6 and Fox UP mobile news app will keep you informed on breaking news in Upper Michigan, like this story from Escanaba. You can sign up for push alerts on the settings page of the app. Make sure your breaking news alerts are turned on to get the latest news updates from the TV6 newsroom. A group trying to overturn changes to who approves large-scale clean energy projects passed a major milestone in its efforts. The Citizens for Local Choice says it's a nonpartisan group trying to revert changes recently made to who approves 100 megawatt or larger clean energy projects. The Michigan Board of Canvassers approved petition language last Friday. A member with the group says UP residents overwhelmingly oppose the new zoning laws.
Polling shows that over 90% of people in the Upper Peninsula oppose this legislation, and they should. We're already seeing reports, for instance, from Escanaba municipal electricity providers that these new laws are going to significantly raise the rates of their electricity.
The group has until May 29th to gather 356,958 valid signatures before it can appear in front of voters in November. At this hour, meteorologist Noel Navarro joins us. Noel, we're taking a look out there. Can't really see the Mackinac Bridge.
No, we got some areas of some dense fog here, Ben. We're talking about mostly cloudy skies throughout.
Thanks, Noel. And mild weather means shorter courses for this weekend's No Cayman On Ski Marathon in Marquette County. Organizers say the snow base isn't deep enough on all of the courses for the cross-country ski event. The race director says no events will finish at the Superior Dome. All Saturday events will end at the NTN Forestville Trailhead in Marquette Township to make sure they finish on good snow.
There'll be some loops in this course back over here, and we'll try and get it to about 30 kilometers. And then the 12K will be shortened to about 10 kilometers. And we're just going to run a great event, and we're going to have a good time, big party.
Coming up on your news tonight at 7/6 Central, TV6's Tristan Kendrick tells us how the conditions of major water crossings impacts the race. In Decision 2024 coverage, on to South Carolina. Former President Trump won the New Hampshire primary, but former South Carolina Governor and UN Ambassador Nikki Haley says don't count her out. NBC's Alice Barr is live on Capitol Hill with what's next in the race for the White House.
There's a better choice.
The American Lung Association says the Biden administration is dragging its feet on a proposed ban on menthol cigarettes and cigars. In the association's annual State of Tobacco Control report out today, it says failing to finalize the menthol ban will result in more death and disease caused by smoking, especially among black smokers, who are disproportionately more likely to smoke menthols. In October, the FDA sent final rules on the issue to the White House for review. The White House Office of Management and Budget has yet to sign off on the FDA's regulatory action. A timetable for the final menthol rule released last month indicated it would be decided in March. The report says the lack of action by the White House on the issue prioritizes politics and tobacco industry profits over public health. Researchers estimate a regulation banning menthol cigarettes would save about 654,000 lives over the next 40 years. Menthol cigarettes make it both easier to start smoking and harder to quit by reducing the harshness of the smoke and cooling the throat. If you play video games, you'll want to listen up. New research says you could be at risk of hearing loss. A study published Tuesday in the journal BMJ Public Health says gamers' average sound levels often exceed healthy sound exposure limits. The longer the exposure, the higher the risks. Researchers looked at data from 54,000 adults and kids. It shows those who game are regularly at higher risk for both hearing loss and tinnitus, a condition that causes ringing in the ears. Coming up, a new policy from Amazon on their Ring cameras, and Dolly Parton expands her baking mixes. TV6's Molly Birch has our first look at the web next.